My name is Dr. Jyoti Pahwa from JCERC Foundation, Jaipur. My specialization is ELT, Computer Assisted Language Learning. So I thought of experimenting a couple of things with my students. It's usually seen that with second language learners, acquisition of words, that is, usage of appropriate words at the right place, is a very big challenge. When it comes to speaking in the second language, most learners fumble for the appropriate word. There are many people who say that words should be learned, words should be acquired at the time of reading language or while listening to a particular language. There is one aspect which we can attach with vocabulary enhancement, and that is the aspect of learning as per individual's requirement. There are people who are visual in nature. There are people who are auditory in nature. So why not experiment with vocabulary enhancement as per individual's requirement? Today what I'm going to discuss with you is experimenting with vocabulary with pictographical representation. So we'll have a picture for a particular word, then we'll have a flurry of words, and then we'll relate the words with the picture and then see whether we can register the words in our mind or not. Let's experiment with vocabulary enhancement. Well, this picture, when this picture comes to the forefront, what do you have in mind? What comes to your mind? Is it the stock market which comes to mind? Okay. So what aspect of stock market comes to mind? That it is open to change. At times it goes up, at times it goes down. So the word which we can use is volatile. The word volatile, if we relate it to the stock market, that gives us a registration platform that when stock market is volatile, anything which is open to change or is changeable is volatile. Let's see how many words we can learn with this picture in mind. Anything which is changeable is explosive. Anything which is changeable is definitely sensitive. Anything which is changeable is definitely unstable or erratic, or it is fickle for that matter, or it is very flighty or inconstant. Now, for a learner who is given to second language learning, keeping these things in mind would be very difficult. But if we do it with a context at the backdrop, it would be very easy. Let's see if we could keep some other words in our mind. Anything which is changeable is temperamental, which is changeable is unpredictable. In a very colloquial manner, in a very informal manner, anything which shoots up or shoots down very frequently is volatile. Which is variable is changeable. What is changeable is lively, is mercurial, something which shoots up as the temperature, as mercury shoots up. Now, how to keep this in mind? As a person who belongs to language background and who's given to teaching language, I would say that keep a context in mind. Now, if we keep volatile as changeable in mind, let's use it in a kind of usage that the political disposition of any party for that matter, maybe BJP, is extremely volatile. That means it's changeable. Or any party for that matter, not particularly any given party. The mood swings of our teachers are quite volatile. That means they're quite changeable. So it is very hard for you to understand. And acetone, which the chemistry students would know better, is a highly volatile liquid. Now let's go back. Let's see what did we actually do. What we did was that we gave a picture to our mind. This was the picture which we gave. There was some kind of an activity at the back of mind that stock market is changeable up and down, and then we started relating these words with changeable. So instead of keeping the words directly in mind only with the word volatile, which we could have forgotten at any given point of time, we gave a picture to our mind. So let's experiment by giving a picture, the words, and the context and relate these three things and see if these three things work in tandem with each other or not. Now, usually we do not take the support of the mother tongue or the second language or a person's native language while learning the second language. But those who are taking competitive exams or those who are not very comfortable with English language as a second language in the straight go can keep Hindi as a support only for a period of time till you develop the comfort zone. Volatile for chemistry students is Vashpashil or Chalchit or Chulbula or Chanchal or Chapal. I would suggest the advanced learners should not go into it, only the basic learners for a period of time till you have that comfort zone established. One should shun the other language and straight away learn the target language. What do you see in this picture? A man given to his own perspective, thinking what is a good thought or a bad thought, which is depicted by an angel, a demon here. So this is given to one's own choice, that what would a person find fit to act, a bona fide feeling or a mala fide feeling. So one's own preference or one's own choice, in this case where a man has to make a choice, is one's own preference. So one's own choice with one's own preference is the word volition. So volition means preference. Which one does willingly out of one's own willingness, which one does readily, freely, consciously with one's own discretion, which one does deliberately. So at any given point of time, when you understand the word deliberately, that means with one's own volition. Deliberately, that means with one's own preference. So this way you can keep these words in mind. Intended, choice. Instead of having the word straight away, if you give a picture, it registers better. Then let's see if we can give a context to it. One's profession, under all circumstances, must be taken up according to one's own volition. And that's a very brilliant message for you to understand, because if you take up your profession without your choice, you would never feel comfortable, and that would be a disaster. But if you take up something with your own volition, with your own choice, you're going to do wonders for yourself and for your country. The tendency of finding a scapegoat usually doesn't find a place in the exercise of one's volition. That means if you do something with your own choice, with your own preference, then you don't find a person to whom you can make a scapegoat, or you do not play the blame game because you've done it with your own choice, with your own volition. Vocational trainings must be pursued out of one's own volition. So this is how we have various backgrounds, various contexts, and we relate it with the picture. Which picture? If we go back, we see which picture did we keep in mind? That a person having two perspectives and 2 point of views, which one does the person consider for taking the action ahead? So with this picture in mind, you can keep all these words in mind, and then you would not find it very difficult when you work with synonyms and when you work with antonyms. It would not be a challenge because you would have a backdrop in mind. So similarly, you can be experimenting with words, with pictures. This was just a very novice experiment, and this has worked wonders with all the second language learners. So I thought of sharing it with you. Let's experiment it with each and every word we make use of. Have a very happy learning. Have a very brilliant way of learning. Keep experimenting with yourself so that you learn the second language with a smile on your face. All the best.